I'm sorry that you had to watch it for such a long time because really I didn't realize when this happened. Hello cat people! How are you today? I am Catlady Antigoni and today we are doing this spooky body paint. The concept for today's video is to recreate Chucky from Child's Play. Chucky is considered to be, a devilish voodoo doll, and to me, all these dark stories are really attractive, and that's why I decided to go with this doll today. It's kinda cute in my opinion, as a toy, as a doll, not what it's doing in the movies and the series. In today's video, I decided to enhance the human characteristics and not that much the doll characteristics to make it more realistic and a little bit more creepy in my opinion. So, if you're ready to see this, let's start! Hair is up, glasses are on, and this means that I'm ready to start drawing. So, I'm gonna take the very old pencil that I'm always using for body paints, and I will start by the clothes. A few steps later, and let me explain you what I have done until here. So, first of all, you might have noticed that I didn't finish my main lines with the eye pencil that I was using, but instead I used something white. So this white is this liquid eyeliner right here. This is from Colourpop in the shade Graceland. It's a very nice white eyeliner, especially for body paints, is amazing. I really love using it when I don't want to use a very intense color, when I want to use pastels or stuff like that, and it's very difficult for me to cancel this color from the pencil with a pastel color. That's why I chose this instead. Then I filled this area right here with a dark blue that I have, this one right here. This is from Spiegel, and I'm gonna do it here with you to see what I have done. Let's be honest, there is a big difference with how the blue looks like here with how the blue looks like there. You see? Of course there's a difference because here I have used eyeshadows as well. So let me show you what I have done. I went to my James Charles palette, X Morphe of course, and from this palette right here I took these two shades, I mixed them, and then I set my body paint with eyeshadows. Let's do it here in order to understand it better. Next step is to do all the outer lines, and for this step I'm gonna use my favorite Epic Ink eyeliner from NYX Professional Makeup. This is the collaboration that they have done with La Casa de Papel. If you're not new here, you have seen this specific one a million times, but if you're new here, hello, my name is Antigoni. I love doing makeup, but I love doing other stuff, so if you don't want to miss anything, don't forget to subscribe to this channel in order to make sure that you will have all of my content available. And now it's time to actually draw something. Have we finished with this jeans part of my clothing? No, definitely not. We need more lights and more shades in order to make it more realistic. What I'm gonna do about that? Again, James Charles palette, but this time I'm gonna use the white for the lights and the black for the shades, and I'm gonna make it more similar to this side, and then I will add some details. Next, we have to do the white stitches. For these, I'm gonna use a combination of two products. First of all, the body paint from Spiegel in white, Vice, this one right here, and then from NYX Professional Makeup, the Epic Wear eyeliner, and I feel that today is the last time that you see this specific packaging because I have almost finished it. As you can see, I have already removed the stopper, and that's why I cut my finger as well, but hopefully I will finish it, so next time we will go with a new one. But anyway, back to relevancy, let's start doing the stitches. Can you guess what's coming next? So next I'm gonna do this button right here, and I'm gonna paint it red. So I'm gonna show you the tiniest red that I've ever had in my collection. Ta-da! So here we have this one right here. Actually, when I tried to order from Spiegel, the big one, they didn't have the big one, so I ended up with this one right here. To be honest, I don't really like red, so I was like, yeah, whatever, just bring me something to have some red in my collection and we will be fine. And I'm quite happy that they didn't have the big one because I'm not happy with this red right here. This is more of a dark pink than a red, and if we call it red, I don't really like it, to be honest. You might say that on this button it looks like red, but no, it's not the case. I added a bunch of red eyeshadow in order to make it darker, but yeah, I'm stop talking and now you will understand. Yes, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it's a lot lighter than a proper red, so I'm not very happy with this one, let's say that. And imagine that at this one right here, I had quite a fallout from the blue, so it made it a little bit darker either way. So imagine that it's even lighter than that. Well, no, it's disappointing. Now I'm gonna take again my James Charles palette. I'm gonna take the red one from the palette and I'm gonna pack some eyeshadow on this button right here in order to make it more true to the red. I'm gonna do all my white details by using my white body paint right here, and all the black details by using only and strictly black eyeshadow from James Charles palette, this one right here. You might think that I have done a lot of steps here, but actually not that many. The thing is that I finished with all the stripes. So for the green, I used this palette right here. This is from Mehron Makeup, so I took this green. This is about to finish, and then all the other colors that I used were from Eulenspiegel, and I'm gonna explain to you. So after green, I used white, this one right here, you have seen it a million times. Then I have used this teal right here, continuing with pink, this one right here, and then I have a very nice pastel blue. So basically it's white and then I packed it with some pastel blue eyeshadow, but this is the next step, so I don't want to spoil anything right now. And as last color, I have used the red, this dark pink right here. I'm not happy, people, I'm not happy, that's the thing. And did I forget anything? Yes, the dark blue, which is this one right here. So let's see them. I finished with all the lines, and believe me, this took quite a lot, and by this I mean like it took 3 hours or something. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to confuse you with a lot of steps, so I'm gonna mention only the shading part of the white stripe right here. I want to make the white having this color, so instead of using directly body paint, I'm gonna take this palette right here. This is from NYX Professional Makeup Ultimate Brights, and from this palette I'm gonna take this shadow. Unfortunately they do not have a name, but anyway, I'm gonna take this shadow and then I will apply it with a tiny brush on the top of white in order to give this shade. Now that we saw the most important coloring from this outfit, and I say that it's the most important since it was just white and now it's a very nice pastel. I don't know if it is kinda baby blue, because I don't think it's baby blue, I think it's a pastel teal, which is amazing. It's a very nice color. Anyway, now I'm gonna use again the same palette, Ultimate Brights from NYX, and then I'm gonna take red in order to use it on top of the red body paint, pink in order to use it on the top of pink. Then I'm gonna take the palette from James Charles and Morphe. I'm gonna take the two blues from this palette, this one and this one, for the blue parts of my dress. Then for the green, I'm gonna take this dark green right here. This is again the James Charles palette. And for white, I will try to dig up a little bit white from the flashback white from the palette. And actually, I remember this name by heart because, as you can see, this palette has no names on top of the palette, but instead it has all the names on the plastic. And here I would like to ask you, what's your opinion about that? Like, do you agree with this? Do you prefer palettes with absolutely no names, like this one right here from NYX Professional Makeup? Or do you prefer palettes who actually have all the names of the shadows? Personally, I prefer palettes with the names on the top of them because I can refer to the shadows more easily and it's less confusing for me, especially when I'm trying to describe something to you or something to a friend. You know, I can easily tell which shadow I have already taken, but On the other hand, you might say that if the palette has the names on it, it might become a little bit more big, so it might be a little bit more uncomfortable for you to use it if it is bigger. So I would really love to hear your opinion about this thing, because I have some thoughts, and why not, I would like to discuss a little bit more about that. Now that I finished with all the colors, I'm gonna take my black Epic Ink eyeliner and I'm gonna go around here, which is supposed to be the sleeve, and then from James Charles palette, I'm gonna take the black eyeshadow, this one right here, in order to create all these shadows, in order to make the jean part of my outfit a little bit more pop out and a little bit more 3D. So let's make things three-dimensional. Now again, I'm gonna take my red body paint from Eulenspiegel and I will finish my outfit by doing this top part right here at the neck. Glasses are removed, and do you know what does this mean? I have finished with the body paint and now I'm moving on to the face makeup. Finally, this body paint took forever, but I wanna tell you, while I was cleaning my face to prepare it for the makeup, I found out that I had a huge black stain from black eyeshadow. I'm sorry that you had to watch it for such a long time, because really I didn't realize when this happened. Anyway, this is gone now, my cheek is clear and I'm ready to start with my eyebrows. I have noticed that at the movie, Chucky has orange eyebrows and that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna take from my palette this orange right here and maybe some of the red. This is an orange red, unlike this one which has blue undertone, so that's why I'm not choosing the red from NYX, but instead I'm gonna choose the red from James. So combining these two and I'm ready to do the brows. Stuff are getting creepy! So let me explain you what I have done until now. First of all, I have primed my face with Marshmallow Primer from NYX. You know how much I love this primer, I will not stop telling you about it. But you know, all the steps about primer, foundation, contouring and stuff like that are pretty much boring. I know that you're not very interested to see these, so of course I don't want to be boring. Instead, I'm gonna tell you the products that I used very quickly and I will move on to the juicy part. As a foundation, I only used this one from Lumene today, the Matte Oil Control Foundation in the shade 0 Light Ivory, and if you know me, you know that this is kinda too light for my skin tone, but that's what I wanted for today. I want to be slightly lighter to give myself this plasticky porcelain look. Next step was to contour my face quite extremely, as you can see, with this product right here. This is the Living the Dream Glow Bronze and Highlighter Duo. You have seen it a million times, but actually I'm using it more as a contouring powder instead of a bronzing powder, because it has that perfect cool undertone that I'm really looking for, products that have it, and it's so convenient for my skin tone and my skin undertone mainly. So I contoured a little bit too extreme in order to give my face this thin, unhealthy look, like I'm not having a good time here, basically, that's the thing. And then, what else? I have used some blush, so this is from Ulak, one more time. This is a very subtle pink, and I just want to give some life back to my cheeks, and that's it basically. What else? I have used some powder as well with this brush right here. This is from Udensheim. And then the next step that I did is to take this pencil right here. This is from a Cypriot indie brand, which is called Your Makeup Stories. This one specifically is called Motivation, and I did this blood line at my eye. So, next step is to fill this with Primer Potion, which is an eyeshadow primer. Then I'm gonna take this palette right here. So, this is the Lip List from BH Cosmetics. And from this palette, I'm gonna take the shade Wino. I'm gonna fill all this area here, and then I'm gonna put some black in order to make it kind of like, not bloody necessarily, but I would like to give the false impression that a part of my skin is missing, so you can actually see the underskin or whatever it's called anyway. I hope you understood, but now let's go to the actual shading. In order to make the wound look more realistic and deep, I'm gonna go with my black eyeshadow and I'm gonna give some depth. After this, I would like to make it a little bit more 3D and make it pop a little bit more out of my skin, so that's why I'm gonna use some white body paint and I will underline the whole wound line. Now I'm gonna do some stitches all over my face using exactly the same techniques. So first of all the pencil, then the red eyeshadow, then some highlighting and then some shading. Now as you saw, I took my Epic Ink eyeliner and I created some stitches right here and I highlighted them with my white eyeliner in order to make them pop a little bit more realistic. You know, that's the concept for today, to make things more realistic. So now I'm gonna do exactly the same procedure here, so I'm creating another scar and here you will have the chance to see how I created all the stitches. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. As you can see, I have a lot of stitches on my face. That's why today I decided to tell you the word for stitches. So in Greek we say ramata. Say with me, ra-ma-ta, ramata. Stitches. As always, I'm gonna ask you to try to write a comment down below using the word stitches or tell me the word in your own native language. For the other eye, I decided to do something very simple in order to enhance the impression that I'm not healthy, I'm not happy, and in general I'm in a bad condition. So for this, I'm gonna just prime it and use some brown eyeshadow in order to make it kind of and look bad all in all. So only a brown eyeshadow, let me show it to you. This one right here, maybe a little bit of this one right here, now to give a little bit extra depth, a little bit extra sickness, people. So you will see it's gonna be very simple. Now that I have finished with my pretty dark circles, I'm gonna create equally pretty lips. So for today's concept, the thing is that I want my lips to look dry. So I'm gonna use two pencils. I'm gonna basically use the same technique that I used when I was doing the Alice in Wonderland, you know, the matte version makeup. I'm gonna do exactly the same. So I'm gonna take again the pencil Motivation. I'm gonna put only there inside, and then I'm gonna take a black pencil of mine and then I'm gonna pack it on the red in order to create that dryness on the lips. Of course, in today's video we don't have any highlighters, any lip glosses, because I want to create the impression that I'm not feeling well, so I cannot be full glam or pretty or stuff like that. So that's why, unfortunately, with a lot of pain of mine, I haven't used anything. Now, if you wanna go and zoom in at my pictures a little bit, if you wanna see the details, you can always visit me on Instagram. Do you know my Instagram page, people? So it's Catlady Antigoni, and as always I'm gonna leave it down here so you can go there, you can follow me, and you can see all the photoshoots that I'm mentioning every now and then, and even you can find out Alice in Wonderland, which is a favorite body paint of mine, and compare it to this one, because this is also a bad character, a mean character, and tell me what's your opinion. I would love to hear your feedback. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for being here with me today. See you tomorrow with a more chit-chat video. Until then, bye!